Hello everyone, welcome back to the guide to Khumbakharna in Siege. The hell is that choice? There we go. So, last game was a really great example of how even if you're trying your best, you can only do so much between the circumstances of the team compositions and how willing your allies are to adapt, because even hunters who generally have fairly static builds sometimes need to adapt to situations. So it just really emphasizes how much supports really do rely on their allies. So we have another Baron Samdi, we have another Gilgamesh, we have Thanatos instead of Hachiman. Let's see who the opposition is. I'm the only one not locked in. Let me see.
Party time!
Who have we got? Okay. Alright. Tiamat Neath. Nothing too horrific. Atlas will be a problem for Samdi and Thanatos. So will King Arthur. Neath will probably have a field day as well. Actually, their team comp, with the exception of theoretically Tiamat, who's the only one who really can't take full advantage of their lack of escape moves. The rest of their team is going to have a field day, so I'm going to have to work pretty hard for this one. We're going to go for Sentinel's Gift. We're probably going to have to go somewhat Aura Body, because, quite frankly, it's not looking particularly promising for my allies here. Because, again, a lot of them don't have any form of escape, so I'm going to need to really stack up the protection auras. Considering that Tiamat's the only source of serious magic damage, I probably won't grab Heart Ward. So, really, ultimately, that's what I'm going to want to be doing here, would be I'm going to go for Gauntlet of Thieves first, play a really lightweight early game, because Thanatos' high early game damage should be able to allow me to carry that with very little problems. Oh. So, ultimately, I think that will work out quite well, so we'll go grab Gauntlet of Thieves first, and then I'm going to go into Sovereignty, and then after that, I'm not really sure. I'll want to grab some form of anti-heal, because Neath already has a self-heal, and I suspect Tiamat will probably build lifesteal as well. We have Tiamat and... alright. I'm actually not going to bop these guys, because I can actually use my knockback a bit more effectively here. Nope. Make him nervous. She doesn't have lifesteal yet, but it's just a matter of time. Okay, good. I'm going to want to throw this down here. Just so we don't get ganked, although it looks like they're winning that fight over there. No, that was Atlas being awesome. Never mind.
Okay.
It looked like Gilgamesh was going in on them, but not at the facts. Okay, they're still both over there, which is important. Nope. We're gonna get you out of here, because I know exactly what he was looking to do. He was looking to ult Thanatos. Hello. He can throw that. That goes the whole distance of the field? Interesting. I did not know that. That's fairly important knowledge about Atlas. Huh. He can traverse... okay. Just trying to make him nervous. I want to keep him on the back foot because I know he has his ult up. And I really don't want him ulting Thanatos. At least not yet. Preferably never, but I suspect I won't be able to completely Yeah, we're gonna need to play this one safe then, because my ward just went down.
Falling back.
Hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, he should have very little problem with that, but I want to hurry up just in case. Yeah, he should be okay. He did some good damage to King Arthur before he really got slapped. They're both back and left, so it's not a huge problem there.
It's a free-for-all out here. Gank.
Do they have wards up?
Enemy missing.
No, they do not.
Enemies have returned to base.
Okay.
That's fine.
Could have been better.
Do this.
What is left
Yes, what a performance!
Alright.
Enemy missing.
I'm coming for you.
Hello. Nope. Excellent. I'm assuming, for the sake of argument, T-Mat's on her way over.
Yes.
Because she's missing from right lane.
Enemy missing right.
Okay.
She's just... No, she just went back, apparently.
An enemy siege juggernaut.
Alright.
has arrived.
That's a bit of an odd choice, but sure. I'm not even going to take any of these. I want him to take all of this. I want to get my stacks. I'm not even going to touch the wave. There we go.
Be right back.
Help left lane.
I'll defend left lane.
Gank left lane.
I mean, we just pushed up a wave. There's King Arthur back. He didn't teleport to the Siege Juggernaut, which is fairly interesting, but Tiamat did. They just warded this.
Gank.
Do they have that? Is he going to be alright here? Yeah. No, we're good.
Siege juggernaut has been destroyed.
Completed. I'm returning right lane.
Yeah, we got to go defend that.
Your right
Enemies
tower is under attack. You got
Yeah, where's Atlas?
siege juggernaut has arrived. I'll attack right lane.
Thanks.
Alright, take care of that. And this I'm just going to let run. Oh, we have our Siege Juggernaut up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this wave... I'm going to let Thanatos take that. There we go. Alright, just didn't want to leave too early.
Enemy missing right. What is left of their life?
Really quickly slap this down a little bit here. Okay, good.
No one hits me from below.
Alright, that's the right tower down. His Tiamat defending it. Is there anyone else alive over here? King Arthur is not over here. Interesting. Alright.
Your siege juggernaut has been destroyed. Well, that's no good. Gank right lane.
We can take this. We can take this.
I'm going for jungle buff. Be careful.
Oh, we're gonna take this? Alright.
Enemies in the jungle.
I was actually gonna straight up... Nope. We're just gonna pull him out of the fight completely. There we go. Alright. Yeah, you got me. That's fine. Oh, okay. You had an opportunity there. I hope you realized that you just threw away a good opportunity. Okay, good. He's got that.
Ultimate is ready. Come crashing down.
I don't think she was expecting that, for me to completely ignore him.
Okay.
Gonna just body block him. Alright, he goes in. Just trying to make sure that Gilgamesh gets out alive. It looks like he's going to. I'm going to die for this, but that is okay. I thought Tiamat was in here. Oh, here she is. Okay, hold up. Oh, she goofed it. She goofed that. Hello. Oh, Baron Samedi does not need help surviving. Alright. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get this. I want to get Pestilence for the anti-heal, and because I desperately need some form of magic protections. After this... what do I get next? I'm not really sure what it is. Breastplate of Valor. That's... I don't know why I didn't think of that before. Breastplate of Valor is the easy choice here. And then... maybe Winged Blade? No, Winged Blade doesn't make any sense in the context. They don't have enough slows. They've got Neath and... Tiamat's Minotaur if she ever chooses to use it, which really depends on the player's individual playstyle. Can we just gank this really quick? Oh yeah, we can gank this really quick. Hi. How you doing? Oh, you beat that for absolutely no reason. How's that going for you? I'm just gonna try to force them to fight Atlas alone. I just want to keep Tiamat off. Oh, hello. No, I'm gonna go over here and help out Thanatos. Because I don't like the situation here. Yeah, how's that going for you? Come here. Oh, shoot, that was not my intention. That was a mistake. He needed the healing, too. Not, like, desperately, but he did need the healing.
Attack left tower.
Yes.
What's up next?
I mean, what are they gonna do? Stop me? Gonna grab this, and then we're gonna just waltz right on in. Hello. Oh look, shelled. Everyone's shelled. Let's go. Nope. They're going nowhere fast, son. Oh, you think you're tough, Neath? Come here. Alright. That's what I thought. She's gonna use her root on this here. I'm already waiting for it. She completely whiffed that opportunity. I'm pretty sure she had it up, too. You wanna fight? No, you don't? Oh, that's a shame. Oh, okay, he's in. Yeah? Nope. You can't kill me. Because you don't have the auto attack speed. Oh, she did catch up to him. That's a shame. I don't have the mana for this, but that's alright. I'll die bravely. Let me just take some slaps from the Titan really quick. Alright, finally have my magic protections online. They finally killed us all. Ah. That Siege Juggernaut in right lane is a bit concerning. They're just going to try to... Well, they'll probably take left tower. We won't be able to defend that. It's too low on health for any kind of reasonable defense to be made of it. But we can defend right lane.
On my way. Your right tower is under attack. What's up next? Your left tower is under attack.
I might not even build magic protections in my last item. Maybe Stone of Gaia? I'm not sure. Yeah, they took left tower.
Enemies have returned to base. An enemy siege juggernaut has been destroyed. Cancel that. What's up next? Tower is under attack. Attack! Group up.
Hi.
I'll gank left lane.
You beats that. You cannot escape the Kumba. How did that not silence him out of that? Oh wow, he's really strong now.
Could have been better. Dang it. Sorry.
Now he's running. He can't kill me. But I can get him killed. You ready? Let's go. He's so cute.
Okay.
The hell? Thanks, Atlas. This was a big help in that fight. You want some of this? That's what I thought. Oh, neat. That's cute. Alright, fair enough.
Falling back.
Yeah?
Retreat.
What do you got?
Yes.
Huh? You attacking me? That's bold of you. You dare approach me? My goodness, the audacity.
Could have been better. Falling back.
Yeah, I might as well.
Out of mana.
Yeah, that's I figured that was why you were falling back. I might as well. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yes. On my way.
I keep forgetting about this. And yep, delightful, delicious little fight here. Yes, that's quite equitable. Now I can go back.
Enemies in my flame.
Grab this, and I want
Cancel that.
Stone of Gaia, so I can sustain forever, because they are not doing nearly enough damage to make that not worthwhile. I've just seen what their best damage can do, and while Neath poses some threat, it's not a great enough threat to merit any other kind of more serious response at this particular point in time. What are you doing, guy? He just pops out of nowhere. Yeah? Is that what you think? Oh, did you just beads that? Silly dragon. How you doing? How's it going for you, King Arthur? I didn't think so. Oh, beads already again, huh? Ah, I didn't even notice you for a second there. You're just dead. Oh, I'll tank this. That's fine. I have my ult. My passive. It's whatever. You're gonna focus everything you've got on me right now. There you go. Little do you know, I have my passive. I can still put you to sleep. Oh, they surrendered. What a shame. Oh, my goodness. So, this is what more along the lines of the kind of match that I was talking about at the beginning of the previous episode, where Khumbakharna is really good in the early game because he can just straight up eliminate one of the enemies in his lane. That's why I did that to King Arthur in right lane. Once I'd done that, Thanatos was able to not only hit him, but was also unable to be ulted. You know, I prevented King Arthur from ulting him there, which was a pivotal moment for King Arthur to ult Thanatos at that time, because at that particular point in time, see, the thing with King Arthur is, once he hits level 5, usually his first ult hits really hard, because he usually has the energy to do the whole jump in the air, dice you up 12 times. And in the early game, that is impactful. So usually King Arthur's best ult is his first. While he can replicate that kind of damage output later on, typically by that point either enemies are stronger, or he's started to build some of his protections and he doesn't have quite the hard-hitting power. At that time, he was working towards Blackthorn, which has a decent amount of physical power attached to it, and while he didn't have full Blackthorn, he still was, at that time, at his physically strongest. And he became tankier as time went on, but he sacrificed damage for that. So typically his best ult is his first. This is actually why I was really concerned about him ulting Thanatos at that time. This is why I ulted him before he could ult Thanatos. Because likely he had the energy to use his bigger ult, and it would have hit Thanatos really hard. Actually, in all likelihood, Thanatos would have died probably from the aftermath, which would have been whatever Tiamat was planning to pull when Thanatos landed. So it was pivotal for me to prevent that ult from landing, and while King Arthur had a couple of opportunities, they weren't great opportunities at that time. especially considering his health, because I could have, if he ulted, I could have counteracted at that point by going after Tiamat and putting her to sleep, and then it would have just still been a boxing match between King Arthur and Thanatos, and once I'd ulted King Arthur, he no longer had the health where he could survive a counterattack by Thanatos at that time. So preventing that ult on Thanatos was very important. Once I'd done that, I knew I could pretty safely go back at that particular juncture, and I did, and I, got my items and everything. And really, even though we didn't get too much in the way of kills in that right lane of the early game, we did well enough to be able to rotate. And again, like I said at the very start of the match, Thanatos' high early game damage enabled me to build Gauntlet of Thebes early and not have to worry too much about dying, because even if I died, he was very likely to take someone with me because of his high damage output, especially in the early game. So ultimately, the choice of Thanatos was really good for Khumbakharna, and actually, this is something that I don't talk about very often. I don't talk about matchups too often because people tend to change, but they haven't changed Thanatos substantially in years, and I must point out the fact that simply putting one of Thanatos' targets to sleep is probably the best thing for Thanatos, because putting them to sleep runs a exactly 0% chance of accidentally killing them. If I root a Thanatos target, there is a slim possibility that I accidentally kill them if they're low enough on HP. It really depends on what I'm building, what they're building, what rank my root is, and etc. This is actually why, if you notice throughout that match, that I leveled up the sleep first, not the root. When you're playing Khumbakharna, you want to do the knockback leveling up first, because that's your wave clear. You can really contribute. You can actually defend a lane by yourself as Khumbakharna because of that ability. Not a whole lot of supports can do that. Or Guardians, I should more specifically say. Not a whole lot of Guardians have wave cleared that good. So it is very important you level that up first. But whether you level up your root or your sleep first depends upon the team compositions and how much you think your team needs the damage from the root, because leveling up the root only increases its damage. It does not extend the duration of the root, but leveling up the sleep increases the duration and the after effects of the sleep if they are forcibly woken up before the, sleep naturally wears off. They get hit with a attack and move speed nerf. Or debuff, I suppose is the proper term. But either way, it's pretty important to make that decision ahead of time, and I knew once I saw Thanatos that I would want my sleep to be as long as possible, so that would give Thanatos the most time to cleanly ult his target. And that's exactly what he did. You could actually see him in a lot of situations waiting for me to put some target to sleep. The only time I didn't was with Atlas at the end, because I had already put him to sleep and he'd already been woken up. But you could see the Thanatos waiting for the sleep, not the root, the sleep, because he knew that was the best time to land his ult. So clearly the Thanatos has played with an at least decent Khumbakharna before. Probably a pretty good Khumbakharna, if I had to actually guess. But that combination of Khumbakharna and Thanatos is really effective, especially in Siege where it's a 2v2 laning situation, which is fantastic. Beyond that, really, there's not really a whole lot to say. See, it was very important that our team start to do well in the early game, because as I pointed out, my allies, half of our team was rather susceptible to Neith, to Atlas, to King Arthur. It could have gotten very ugly very quickly if we didn't start pushing an early lead. Fortunately, even though Thanatos and Baron Samedi, or Samdi, however you want to pronounce it, I pronounce it Samdi, despite the fact that Thanatos and Baron Samdi don't have any escapes, they also hit like steam trains, especially Thanatos. So once I got Thanatos rolling by just simply keeping him alive in the laning phase, that's all he really needed. He was able to do the rest himself. Boom. And we were able to do those rotations, get that early lead, really slap down the enemy as much as possible, and that was why it was so important we rotate. That was why it was such a big deal when we killed King Arthur the first time. Even though I didn't say anything at the time, the fact that King Arthur rotated over and died was actually pretty huge. The game was decided early on. more because of the team compositions than anything else. If we had not pushed that advantage that we had at that early stage of the game, we probably would have been turned on and lost eventually in the long term. So, and sometimes that's all you need to do as a support. You don't even need to necessarily set up too hard. You just need to keep your allies alive. Sometimes that's all you need because they'll do everything else themselves. And Thanatos was a great example of that. Yeah, I set up a couple of ults. I think I set up 2, maybe 3. It's not like he needed them. It was just something to reassure him. I didn't really need to protect Baron Samedi too much. I really didn't need to protect Gilgamesh too much. Most of the time I was just simply tanking Phoenixes and Towers for Gilgamesh so Gilgamesh could run wild underneath these. And that was about all I needed to do. You know, it was, from a support standpoint, while my presence was important, my job was not to set up for my allies. This is one of those rare games where I really didn't need to do that much setting up. Mostly I was just keeping the enemy sort of separated, so I could allow my allies to gang up and kill some target alone, and then move on to the next. That and tank. That and absorb damage. That's about all I really needed to do. Setting up kills is something I didn't need to do here, because my allies were taking care of that all by themselves. And if you watch the game back, I don't know how many times people watch these games back, but if you go back and watch the laning phase, you can see where I'm sticking pretty close to Thanatos, and I'm prioritizing keeping Thanatos alive and not allowing King Arthur to really start to combo Thanatos. That's my chief priority there. Once Thanatos, with his higher damage output, does enough damage to make King Arthur and Tiamat afraid, I back, because they're not really going to push too hard on him because they're afraid now. And they did push up on Thanatos, which surprised me slightly. But he was able to do enough damage where they couldn't push that much farther. They pushed him under tower, and that was about it. And he's able to heal back up off of that because, of course, he's now solo killing the wave. When I returned, we were able to rotate because it was only Tiamat there. King Arthur needed to go back because of how much damage he took when pushing up on Thanatos. And you'll notice at that time, I think that was the only time I was trying to set up kills, because we needed King Arthur dead to start putting him behind so we could be more aggressive. I did my best at that. Probably wasn't needed there, but I did what I could. They killed King Arthur. They killed a couple of other people. And then at that point where we've killed King Arthur, and we start to snowball now, because they haven't killed any of us yet, that's where we really start to really farm up, and it's at that point that I really don't need to do much more than separate the enemy. And I think the cleanest example of that would be when I was under that tower and I think it was their right lane, and our left lane, and I was keeping Tiamat and Neith away from Atlas while my allies ganged up on and killed Atlas, and then King Arthur came from the jungle, and then I went over there to make sure that Thanatos had the setup he needed to kill King Arthur. Move on, you know? That's basically what it was about, is just keeping... At that point, basically, I was just keeping King Arthur separated. It wasn't even necessarily setting Thanatos' kills up. That was a side effect. My main priority there was to make sure that King Arthur died before his allies could come help him, and fortunately Baron Samedi and Gilgamesh were able to keep them at bay while I was doing this. So King Arthur died, and then we just kind of steamrolled even more. So you can see the transition of my strategy. I unfortunately was so focused that I didn't mention the shift, but you can see the shift in my general strategy, where I went from keeping Thanatos alive to setting up the kills to keeping the enemy separated. And it's as far as transitions go for supports, it's a pretty quick transition, because I didn't need to keep Thanatos alive for very long. It was just 1 1/3 items worth, so like the first 5 minutes of the game, switch over to setting up kills for 3 minutes, and then after that it's all about keeping the enemies separated so my allies can pick them off one by one. And you can see it happen, generally speaking. And, you know, that long extended fight under the Phoenix that we eventually lost, I was doing the same thing there. I was trying to separate the enemies out. I had Neith in the back, underneath the Titan. Keep her separate. Keep her out of the fight, so that way Gilgamesh can work on Tiamat, can work on Atlas, can work on King Arthur, right? It was the same exact thing. It was way too deep. We were way too aggressive there, but we were also far enough ahead where that wasn't really that important. So with that being said, thank you all very much for joining me. If you liked this, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, please ignore me. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, ideas, suggestions, or requests, please leave them down in the comment section below. And thank you all very much for joining me, and have a great 24 hours.